And there's the bell.
Good morning, Nudelberg Daily Huddle. It is October. Welcome to the 10th month of the year.
Does it feel like October? I mean, does it?
I gotta tell you, April to October. I don't know, what was it, like a week? 8 years? I don't know.
It was really all just 1 month. We just, kind of just blended them all. It's like the accordion, just gadoom, gadoom, gadoom,
But I will say this, a sense of the times. Last night was a phenomenal night. Shout out to Charlie Toronto and everybody that joined us at Capitol Grill down in Miami, because that was as good of a networking event as I've ever been to. Unbelievable conversation, unbelievable food and drink, and a real indicator that things are starting to get back to some kind of operating procedures.
So it wasn't all, the same. There was no valet, but we did have a private room, so we did kind of take care of ourselves that way. But phenomenal people in the room, and the one common denominator, if you want to grow your business, is you got to be around good people. There was some stories flying around that room, and wouldn't you know, it's the small world, just the connectivity of what was going on there. That one guy, Steve, you connected to Mel Tucker, me to Byron Scott. I mean, it was like,
yeah,
you got to be kidding me, man. That's just so sick.
Steve was a well-connected dude, and it was a great night of conversation, great night of learning and sharing stories. Everybody trying to one-up each other as men like to do. But I want to shout out to Don Sharp, Xenia Gallagher, just some people that are saying good morning this morning that don't normally hop into the comment
section.
Xenia's
always here. Xenia's always here, man. That's fantastic.
Good to see the names who sometimes don't always say good morning.
And Tammy McKenzie's here. She's a regular. Thank you, Tammy. She is the video queen. Love it.
Ray Honori. So Welcome, guys. Welcome. And if you, Mark Thomas, good morning. Hey guys, welcome to the show. Whether you're here every day or this is your first morning, always glad to see people saying good morning and saying hello. So Shay, take us away with some morning music.
Changes. Don't tell them to blow up on all events. Changes. Turn and face the strange. Changes. Where's the shame you've left us up to our next event? Time may change me. You can twist time.
I gotta love a little David Bowie in the morning, man. I like Ziggy Stardust, man. I'm feeling good.
Bowie, and change is going to be the really the underlying theme for the entire day. But gotta love a little David Bowie in the morning, and excited to talk about change because it's the first of the month. So we're gonna talk about
has anything changed? I mean, seriously, is there anything like hello? Really, really cool stuff. So it is October 1st. And if you can notice, Shay, why don't you jump into the screen with us? We are all wearing 50 shades of pink. And, the reason why we're doing that is that it's honoring those who are fighting breast cancer, which is, to me, just awful. One of our dear friends and one of our clients, a guy that we admire very, very much, he lost his mom to breast cancer. So Shay, why don't you go to the video?
My mom loved working to support the American Cancer Society. It was her biggest passion even before she was diagnosed with breast cancer. Hi, I'm Andrew Koenig, president of City Furniture, and my mom, Doreen, lost her courageous battle with breast cancer in 2015. October was a special month for my mom. I have a fond memory of her and these little pumpkin buckets that she used to have made around Halloween. She gave them out to everyone. Our associates, our customers, friends, and even neighbors. They were her special way to raise awareness of breast cancer and the toll it takes on everyone it affects. The pink pumpkins, as I call them, are a symbol of my mom's memory and a reminder of how much she meant to me, our family, our company, and our entire community. This October, look for our incredible hand-carved pink pumpkin installations in our city stores and at our generous partner locations. Stop to think about someone you know that is battling breast cancer and celebrate their life and spirit. I hope you'll consider supporting the American Cancer Society in any way you're able to. Any size donation helps. Scan the QR code on your screen to learn more. So in memory of my mom and everyone in our community that has struggled with or is now battling breast cancer, I dedicate the Pink Pumpkins to you.
So I know how hard that video was for him to do. We're going to jump right in. October 1st, we're jumping in the donation mix. Mark, what's our commitment?
So we're going to donate $1,000 from On the Ball, from obviously from us to them. And just to give you some stats about breast cancer, 1 in 8 U.S. women develop invasive breast cancer throughout their life. Besides skin cancer, breast cancer is the most commonly diagnosed form of cancer. And the most significant risk factors are gender and age. The older you get, the more at risk you are to develop it. So obviously, it's a very large movement. You see the NFL and lots of other sports organizations wear pink throughout the month and incorporate pink into their uniforms. So with the Pink Pumpkins, that's local. It's a local, business. It's people who are involved in our community. It's an unbelievable opportunity to get involved, and we're happy to start that way. And obviously, we encourage everybody within the Huddle to get involved.
And it doesn't matter the size of what you give. It matters that you give. The universe knows when you give. It's a rule in my book. It's a way of life that the more that you give of yourself and of your resources, time, energy, money, any kind of ideas, anything you give, the universe is going to find a way to get it back to you. So, shout out to Andrew Koenig. You do so much for our community. We're proud to support you back.
So there we go. We're off and running into October. And before
I got one more.
Shocker.
Shay never gets to shout out, but I want to give Shay the chance to talk about his lady. Did something really great for his lady, and I want him to be able to share it with the Huddle crowd.
Yeah, we got my first lady, new car yesterday, and back to the Benz. Been a while.
So you're gonna show a picture? You're gonna show a picture? Come on, dude.
I was working on other stuff, so I didn't have it ready.
Okay. So congrats to the Shea Money family on the new vehicle, and welcome to the Benz family. On October 1st, 1962, Johnny Carson takes over for Jack Parr as host of the late night talk show program, The Tonight Show. Okay. One more piece of history trivia. October 1st, 1961, something happened in sports that is very significant with the number 61. Can either of you or anybody in the crowd tell me what happened?
Oh, you deliberately left this off the script?
I deliberately left it off the script.
You shithead.
There's no Googling happening. October 1st, 1961 is your clue.
Is it
something
Roger
very
Maris?
special. Roger Maris breaks the home run record. Nicely done. Who is Roger Maris? Breaks the home run record. So for the baseball fans out there, and a little interesting tidbit about that, it took a long time for that record to actually get recognized because he actually did it in more games than Babe Ruth. And so the commissioner at the time had a hard time changing it and wanted to not give him the same record. So asterisks were a thing far before we thought it was. But
Shay, can you put up Kim's comment, please? What's going on with the controls back there, dude?
Doreen and I fought cancer together. She was my rock. I commit to match your donation, and we'll give. Oh, that's fantastic! Thank you, Kim. That's really, really fantastic. So
She's
speaking
lady,
of
man.
change, lots of change. Today is National Hair Day. So obviously there's been a lot of change with the guy across from me. Shay, show us the Nudelberg hairstyles that have been throughout the years. I don't know which one is my favorite, guys. I mean, the one on the left, obviously I was a big fan of the mushroom top growing up. And in the top right, I'm not quite sure what you guys were trying to do with me. It's some kind of Don Johnson look I got going on. I don't know. But just so that everybody's aware, the hairstyles changed throughout the years. and those are some goodies.
Ooh. Move on. Let's move on.
So continuing with the change theme, there is a CEO. The CEO is changing towns through recreation and one pickleball court at a time. If you guys don't know what pickleball is, here's a quick little video to show you.
Lob again. Marson goes back. Comes up. Still in play there at the net. Another lob.
So pickleball, if you've never seen it played live, there's a park here in Fort Lauderdale, just north of Victoria Park, and they play pickleball all the time, and it's competitive, and they get after it. But Chris Hall, who is the CEO of Talking Rain Beverage Company, got into the pandemic and was trying to find a way to give back, and got into helping renovate recreational facilities around the country. He's picked 3, one of them being his hometown, and he's building a pickleball court. One, he's actually renovating the youth baseball fields, and another one, he's building a musical concert venue for them, giving back, allowing people to get outside, stay active, find connection. And if you haven't found the article is on Inc., and it goes all into their company culture and how they came about with this idea of finding a ways to give back. There's a great story about a local barbecue guy and what he does to feed homeless veterans. Tons of good vibes, tons of really positive stuff. So change is happening, maybe in your backyard with a pickleball court.
And you know what's an interesting
shout out to Chris
takeaway?
Hall.
The interesting takeaway is some people think of change as negative. They're programmed to go, oh my God, things are changing. They move my cheese. Change is liberating. Change is, what Pat Riley said, the only thing in life that you can count on is change. So embrace it.
Better embrace it.
Jay, I don't know if you can see it, but Eddie Dykes just matched $1,000. So Weston Jewelers jumping right in the pie. We've raised $3,000 already for breast cancer. Guys, I'm super proud of you. Really proud to call you friends. Friends of Nudelberg, man. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys. That's really awesome. So for those of you during the pandemic who have put on some weight and are feeling it, now obviously the first of the month is a great time for change, but I want to let you know you are not the only ones. The U.S. obesity rate is over 42% for the first time in history. So people staying at home, people not getting out, not getting active, constantly having access to the cupboard and whatever's in the refrigerator, tough. So, if you're in that boat and you're feeling like you put on a couple extra pounds, obviously Howie Craw, who is in all the time, is a great person to talk to for Octavia if you need to get your diet right. And if you're interested in getting a workout and you're in Broward, come give me a shout, because I would love to bring you to Roar Station and get you involved with my group, because they do an unbelievable job of getting people back in shape.
I will go to take that workout challenge as long as there are ambulances on call right there in the parking lot. This is crazy.
So the last little bit of change that's happening is there's a change happening at the zoo. Cheeky birds were caught swearing at Lincolnshire Wildlife Park. 5 foul-mouthed parrots have been causing a comical stir at Lincolnshire Wildlife Park by swearing in front of visitors and staffs. African gray parrots Billy, Tyson, Elsie, Jade, and Eric arrived at the park together and have since then had to be separated and removed, because as they first came in, they say it's something that happens, they'll make funny noises or they might have some words that they picked up. But these birds were actually constantly swearing at people. And then the people were swearing back. Annie Lieb in the house. Good morning.
Yo, Annie.
So they actually had to remove the birds. So now they're off on their own sanctuary because they could just not get the F word out of their mouth.
There's so many jokes over the years of what a talking parrot, could say or would say or what they've seen. And so that's just really, really, really funny stuff. Annie is here with her Annie-tude. How about that? Boom.
So shout out to the Fresh Air IP crew, Ed Murgatroyd and Charlie Pembleton in the house. I know you guys are on the road down to Atlanta this morning for your golf tournament. I hope that you guys have great success in networking and being able to get what you guys are doing out on the airwaves. Excited for you guys.
I think it's time to shame some people.
Without any further ado, it is time for the wall of shame.
So I get my one, right? And you want to go first?
I'll go first. We'll do two this morning, so I'll go first. The first one comes from Kivas Rosario, and shout out to Jim Barrett for sending this one in. Jim, your profile caught my eye, and it looks like we know some of the same people. I focus on building financial roadmaps with families and business owners, and I believe we could both benefit from one another's network. No, thank you. How would you know that you can benefit from my network if you don't know anything about me or who I am, and all you've done is explain yourself? No, thank you, sir. You are intrusive and invasive.
True that. So I get a beauty from Zachary. Zachary Farber, managing director, cannabis debt investor, unsecured working capital. Okay, he comes in. No hello, no anything, no name. C6 Capital provides unsecured, non-dilutive financing to lower middle market U.S. companies, both public and private, that have our unique structure gives us flexibility. Looking forward to discussing synergies. Seriously? So can you imagine that I'm standing in Starbucks, right? And this guy just walks up to me and he goes, C6 Capital Provider. What the fuck planet is this guy on?
So in that same light, I mean, could you imagine being in Starbucks and this guy walking up to Jim and saying, your profile caught my eye? Like, excuse me? Like, sexual harassment, my man. Like,
it doesn't make any sense. Big shout out to Beth Halleck this morning. Beth is coming in from Greenville, South Carolina. She recently did my show. And Beth, I wore my special blazer for you today.
Okay, so let's get to some good stuff. Let's go to the Hall of Fame.
Standing in the Hall of Fame, and the world's gonna know your name.
And
Good stuff.
This one goes out to a current Huddle member who we see on the daily, Michelle Morrison. Hi, Mark. Thank you for always sharing great tips to help others improve their lives and careers. I'm sending an invite because the Huddles, you and your dad focus on helping others achieve their goals while we achieve our own. And I like to surround myself with people like yourself. Regards, Michelle. Well done, Michelle. In the Huddle every day, hearing what's happening, learning exactly how to connect with people. Well done. Love when it works.
I love it. So I'm going to throw one out. Scott McGregor put something out in as a post, but this is so Hall of Fame. The headline is, don't be lazy. Just got this reply after accepting a connection request. Hi, Scott. Thanks for connecting with me. I'd love to learn more about what you do. Open to a call? ? In 10 seconds or less, you can figure out I'm the CEO of a talent strategy company who's teaching people not to sound like this. You know what? Fantastic,
well done,
Scott. Thank you for sharing. And if you're not following Scott, Annie, all of the people from Something New, they are special. Dave, Stavali, you and Scott will have a wonderful call. But Scott, you're in the Hall of Fame today for so much stuff, but thank you for sharing that.
Annie commented on your Blazer game. And I mean, let's just like, if maybe one day we'll get a preview into the closet. So I hope everybody gets a chance to view it one day, because it's the most spectacular thing you've ever seen in your life. It's
Well, when you
every
first
color,
moved back
every
here.
pattern. Yeah. I was like, are you serious? I was like,
When you first
the value of this closet is more than people's garage.
you know what? But you know what?
The cars
So
combined.
here's a great Blazer story. So when I went to Greenville last year, or it was the beginning of this year, to speak to Beth's 60 or 70 people, it was cold. It was a smaller town. And I decided, hey, I'm just going to dial it back. And I wore like a really nice black blazer, great buttons, great inside, but it was a black blazer. I walk in and she goes, you just bummed me out, man. I told everybody you wear the greatest blazers. So always there's a lesson there, man.
You set expectations. You got to show up and meet that expectation every single time. And that was actually funny, because last night we went to it, the dinner that we went to, it was a well-dressed event. And I was one of the few people who was not wearing a blazer. And the couple other guys who weren't wearing blazers were like, dude, thank you for not wearing a blazer. You make me feel so much more comfortable. And I was like, I'm good. Like, we're going to show up, and if you're going to judge me based on just my blazer, we're not going to be friends anyway.
Well, so I did say, though, because we drove down together, I did say that I would rather you show up not the best dressed and be able to open your mouth and be that person than be the best dressed guy there and open up your mouth and really put your foot in it.
100%. 100%.
So Beth just gave me the thumbs up. I'm doing better. So thank you, Beth. Scott Albert's here. Richard Zegelbone is here. One of my favorite clients. I love Richard Zegelbone and all of his folks. So Richard, thank you for joining us.
I love it. And so, Paul Rushton, when are we going to have an interactive Noodle Huddle party? I love that. That's coming.
You know what? That's not a bad idea.
Coming.
Right.
That is coming. So let's get to the nuggets. Let's get
that'll be sponsored by Terry Bradshaw and his bourbon.
And his bourbon. So we're talking about change, right? And with what we do on a daily basis and what I've done for my entire career as a coach, the thing about creating change is, if you're going to create change, you have to have a plan. And most people don't really understand the basic fundamentals of how to create a plan. So we're going to dive into it, and we're going to define it step by step on what you need to do. But before I do that, Dave Stavali just blew my mind. March 22nd is National Blazer Day. Do you know what other day that is? That's Kai's birthday.
Get out of town, really?
No.
It didn't dawn on me like that, man. That was great.
Yeah, that's
very
crazy.
Nice.
Okay,
very
so
nice.
the first step, very first step in creating a plan is defining the goal. And I think a lot of people go, oh yeah, I can define my goal. It's this big, hairy, audacious, it's this thing. That's not necessarily the only thing you have to think about when defining the goal. I think you have to really dive in and say, is this something that I truly want to do, and evaluate how bad you want that? Because if you set it as the goal, you have to be aware of everything that you have to sacrifice or what you're going to have to be able to do in order to get there. And it should push you out of your comfort zone. If you set the goal and in your heart, it feels like, yeah, I know I can do this. There's no problem here. I feel good about it. It's probably not tough enough to really create change and growth within your life. So defining the goal is the first thing. How do you go about defining a goal for yourself?
So it's interesting, because I always have a vision of climbing a mountain. Scott Garber and I have talked about this all the time. And at a lot of people climb the mountain, they get to a certain spot, they look back and they go, wow, look at how far I've come. And then they look up and they go, I'm not doing that. They plant the flag and they're done. Whatever you're doing, right? If you want to get to the peak, the terrain gets steeper, the weather gets worse, it's going to be different. And so my number one thing is write it down. Whatever your goal is write it down. Boom. So
that to me is writing the vision of what it looks like. So when you write the goal down, that then takes the goal of just climbing the mountain to actually describing what it is that you want. I want to get to the peak of the mountain. I want to see every step of the mountain. It really forces you to, number one, make sure that it matches your why. Who you are inside. Is this journey going to match who I am? Is there a true desire and a belief, and this is what I want to do and how I want to go about doing it? And then, the vision of yourself and where you want to be, all being within that one statement of, this is where I want to go. This is how I'm going to get there. Because in that writing, you should describe the behaviors that you're going to have to do in order to get to that I want to get to the top of the mountain by climbing every single step, by finding every crevice, getting detailed about what that path is going to look like.
So what's really interesting, Mark, and I love this topic because, I've heard this my whole career. People, well, fake it till you make it, and then, get in touch with your goals and then just fake it. I really like act as if you want to be somewhere. Act as if you're already there. Act as if you are the top salesperson. Act as if you are the CEO of the company, because if you act as if, people will see you differently. You will do things differently than if you don't see yourself there. So Zig Ziglar, who I know Eddie Dykes is reading, See You at the Top, and it's 25 years ago I read that book. The first thing in all of this stuff is self-image. Do you see yourself? Do you have the vision to see yourself there? And a lot of people have limiting beliefs that don't allow them to be there.
Well, so because you have that vision and you start to act as if, that's really where the dream and the goal becomes reality, because you start doing the things. So the next step in that is, once you've defined it and you write the vision of what it is, you've got to create the schedule. Like, okay, great. I know what the behaviors are that I have to be doing. And relating this to the sales world is, if you want to double your revenue, which is somebody that I'm coaching right now, that's their goal for 2021. They want to double the number that they're doing in 2020. Well, you can't just focus on the number. What are the behaviors then? Who do you need to be swimming with? What world do you have to be networking in? So how do you go about creating the daily behaviors and scheduling them? Because we say it all the time, what gets scheduled gets done. So once you've defined the activities, I know I need to be on LinkedIn. I know I need to be commenting. I need to have 2 hours a day where I'm on LinkedIn engaging with the platform. Okay, great. Now, where is that on my calendar so that I know it's going to get done and it's holding myself accountable to it?
I want to share also, one of the behaviors is understanding what you need to learn and get better at it and upskill. If you want more, that means you need to be more. And sometimes that's a capabilities issue. If you, from a football standpoint, understood that you need to get your guys better at a kickoff or a field goal, or,
you have
punt
to do the
return
thing.
or something like that, you have to do the thing. You have
Do
to
the
get
thing.
better at it. How do I learn it? How do I get into it? How do I practice it? So I love that. I love that.
And shout out to Coach Mike, because he says, I'm loving this huddle. And that's exactly it. When you identify the thing that you need to get better at, the only way to get better at it is to practice it and do it. It's not just to read about it and watch videos about it and listen to the huddle about it. It's actually getting in and doing the thing.
I want to share one more thing about vision. For any of you, who are at a job and you want to get promoted, if you start acting like someone gave you the job already, you will own the job. 3 to 6 months, the job will be yours. Most people wait to go, okay, I'm going to promote you and I'm going to give you more money and I'm going to do whatever. Don't wait. Start doing it. Act as if you had that job instantly and watch how people react to you. Watch how you get better. Aspire to be that person. Patrick Mahomes came in and he acts like he's the best quarterback. And guess what? He is.
Okay, so you've got define it, you've got write the vision down, you've got create the schedule for the behaviors so that you know that you've got the opportunity. The next thing is to keep score. Quantify the behaviors is the first part of keeping the score, right? The next thing about that is stacking days. How many days in a row am I doing it? It's just like going to the gym. It's just like reading a book. It's just like anything that you do. There's people that we work with that are doing all kinds of, I'm doing the Whole 30, which is stacking 30 days in a row of this specific diet. quantify the action, stack those days, celebrate the wins, because when you do it and it works, celebrate yourself, enjoy those pieces of it. And then when it doesn't work, because guaranteed you're going to fail, you're going to have a setback, you're going to not do it, you're going to miss a day, there's going to be something that happens, evaluate it. Look at it, see what happens, look at it, see what happens, evaluate it so that you can move forward with it. So make a plan for yourself. It's the first piece that will create accountability for it. Shay, take us away with music. Have a fantastic Thursday.
Thank you for
Changes. Turn and face the strain. Changes. Don't tell them to blow up.